Thank you very much, Lori. I am Richard Bodorf. I will be your MC for this evening, and I'm delighted that I have the opportunity to do so. Okay. Move this. Okay. Move the camera back. Can you hear me now? Much better. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Is that better? In the back row, hands up. Okay. I am Dick Bodorf. I'm delighted to be your host and MC this evening. We have a large variety of things to celebrate, 4 in particular that I can think of. The first one is not on your program this evening, and that is the fact that the rain has stopped, the clouds parted, the sun came out, and the tide receded. And Rabbi Hyman, wherever you are, if you are responsible for any of that, it is all the more reason for us to honor you this evening. The second is to recognize Rabbi Hyman's remarkable contributions to this community and to the international Scout movement. The third, to acknowledge the wonderful generosity of all of those in this room and available to us virtually who have contributed so handsomely to the Scout program this evening. And the last is also not on the agenda, and that is to acknowledge the fact that this district, the Chop Tank district, this year had its first female Eagle Scout, which is a matter of some consequence. Her name is Jenna Scalia, and she would be here tonight if I had anything to say about it, but she happens to be a freshman at St. Mary's College and is not with us tonight, but we will get her here in the future. As a matter of housekeeping, for those of us that are watching us virtually, if you would mute your devices and continue to mute them throughout the evening, that would be very helpful. And at this point, I will turn it over to the Rabbi Hyman, who we're going to enlist to do the invocation.
Which just shows you that there's no such thing as a free lunch. Let us pray. Almighty and merciful God, by whose grace we abide and under whose protection we exist. For moments of opportunity, for moments that bring community together, for moments that give us awareness of how we are connected and who we are connected to, we are grateful. For opportunities of service that allow us to bring your vision of a world where people live under their vines and under their fig trees and none make them afraid. We are grateful. The scouting program does that in a very big, powerful, and successful way, not here, but also around the world. For those things that make us better, that bring us closer to you, we are, oh God, grateful. We pray in your great and holy name. Amen.
At this time, Troop 496, the honor guard from that organization, will present the colors and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Color guard attention. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. Color guard present colors. Scout salute. Those not in uniform, please place your right hand over the your heart. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all.
2. Scout sign. Please join me in reciting the Scout oath. On
my honor, I will do my best to do my duty
to God and my country,
to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically straight, so I can live and morally straight.
Please join me in reciting the Scout Law. The
Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
2. Color guard return to rank. Color guard about face. Color guard forward march. Audience, please be seated.
I now call to the podium Mr. Ben Schlesinger, who is the president of the board of the temple, to greet us on behalf of the temple. It's rumored that he is also a Boy Scout from his youth.
Thank you so much. Can you hear okay? Wonderful. Well, it's a great pleasure to welcome this wonderful group to our beautiful new temple, Temple B'nai Israel, the Satell Center for Jewish Life on the Eastern Shore. I will be followed by Mr. Satell, who will have more important and significant remarks than I will. I'm simply just overwhelmed with pride in our institution and grateful that you've chosen to be here this evening. Yes, I was a Boy Scout for a while. I don't know that I ever got to the rank that many of you are, but I guess I might have learned some lessons in character, and that's, I suppose, what counts, and patriotism. So we are just buzzing with pride in our Rabbi Peter Hyman, who has done so much to bring us together with our community and so much for this temple. So I congratulate you, Rabbi Hyman, and I congratulate all of you on a wonderful event. Thank you for being here. I need to apologize, as I've mentioned, some people, my wife and I have a plane to Indiana. We have a new grandson, and we're really proud of him. A little Hoosier this big. So we're off to Indiana, and we really are leaving now to get to DC in the plane first thing in the morning. So thank you all for being here. Enjoy the time we could spend. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Ed Satell, who is the primary individual sponsor of this event tonight, and we were very grateful to the Satells for doing that. He is also the namesake of the Satell Center for Jewish Life and Culture on the Eastern Shore at this temple. Ed?
Well, good evening, everyone. Pleasure to be here. Rabbi Hyman, Howard Friedlander, guests, dignitaries from far and near, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I'm here tonight to share some of my admiration about my good friend and rabbi for life, Peter Hyman, as well as the incredibly deserved work of the Boy Scouts. We are here tonight to celebrate the first rabbi in the long history of scouting ever to be awarded the Bronze Wolf Award, the highest scouting award in the world. And the only time it's been awarded to a rabbi, and it was given by the World Scout Committee. Most honors are done by regional groups and country groups. This is the one honor that is given only by the World Scout Committee. And we're pleased that they have recognized the great work, the great inspiration, the great leadership of Rabbi Hyman. On a personal level, I'm proud to say that Rabbi Hyman presided over the bar mitzvahs of my two sons, who he helped inspire to go on to become proud Eagle Scouts. Because an Eagle Scout takes several years to achieve, and there is much achievement that needs to be done to get it, that gives them a lifetime of pride and accomplishment. He also presided over my wedding with my wife, Sima, who is here today. On a civic level, while in Philadelphia, Rabbi Hyman was always active, was the only clergy person to be selected as one of the 10 outstanding nonprofit leaders in the region to serve as part of a quality forum of the most distinguished nonprofit leaders in that region, so as to become even better leaders of the people they served and the community as well. The purpose was to have candid idea exchange and experience exchange amongst the leading nonprofit leaders in the region, so they would become educated and stimulated to become even better nonprofit leaders for their community. I have been well exposed to Rabbi Hyman's unusual talent for fostering interfaith fellowship amongst the different interfaith leaders to make I got something out of order here. I'm back in order. To make the community much better, and we were talking about interfaith objectives, to make the community much better and have a more positive educational space in the community. He bravely did this locally with other clergy persons. He bravely did this nationally, and he was a key leader in doing this internationally, where he gained the attention and support and encouragement of kings and heads of government. He served as the first chairman of the Global Messenger of Peace, sponsored by King Carl the 17th Gustav of Sweden and King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia. He was invited as the first rabbi to visit Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He spoke at the invitation of King Abdullah on the scouting values before a group of worldwide scouting leaders. Imagine that. A rabbi speaking in Saudi Arabia at the uncensored invitation of the king. Rabbi Hyman most always won the hearts and minds of his fellow clergy and inspired interfaith, multiracial respect and joy. He served not only as a clergy person, but also as the head leadership clergy person for 3 international Boy Scout jamborees. Now, you may not know what an international Boy Scout jamboree is, but they take place in different countries, often attracting tens of thousands of Boy Scouts for a few camping days and earning merit badges, as well as hearing from the dignitaries of their country, such as the President of the United States or the king of the country that was holding it. At one of these large jamborees, with over 20,000 scouts attending, an accidental tragedy happened, which took the lives of a few scouts and scout leaders. At that time, there was a very high need for respectful and meaningful leadership, which meant so much to so many who were there. The silent call was, what do we do now? Peter responded with the grace of being the top clergy person present, respecting those who died, calming the overwhelming majority who lived. And the jamboree went forward in a positive way, meeting the parents' needs meeting the parents' needs, the scouts' needs, and the needs of all. Oh, here it is. Well, that was great leadership in action that was appreciated not only for its rarity value, but for what was accomplished at that time. Today, many young boys are experiencing significant achievement gaps in the suburbs and in the inner cities. Many are restless, frustrated, and without positive goals, often living in fatherless homes. Achievement levels for boys have generally declined. The Boy Scouts are not only the best in giving boys development opportunities in the inner cities where the problems are even worse, they are often the only group organizing and assisting boys and their positive development. That's something to imagine today with all that goes on. The boys are going through crises and groups turn away, but not the Boy Scouts. They figure it out, they learn from the mistakes, they move on, and they try to help these young boys' development opportunities. We should be applauding and supporting this great work the Boy Scouts are voluntarily doing. Let me end with a few facts. A generation or two, about 9 out of 10 of the top scholars at most high schools were boys. Now it's 1 in 10. A generation or two ago, 60% of the college students were boys and 40% were girls. The facts today is that 60% of the college students, 60.5% of the college students are girls and 39.5% are boys. Most mothers know this. What happened? Without blame, we need to try to take a hard look at what we can do to improve the performance of boys. In my mind, it starts with helping organizations such as the Boy Scouts and serving boys' needs and confidence. This is not just the boys and their parents' problem, it is a community problem that needs our help. I hope you choose to do so. God bless America. God bless the Boy Scouts and all the wonderful work that they do. And God bless those who volunteer their time to help our country be better for all. Thank you. And thank you, Peter, for your leadership.
Thank you very, very much for those wonderful remarks. And thanks to you, the Satells, and 94 other contributors to this event this evening. We can report that the take from this group is a record in the 25 years that this event has occurred, $72,000+ for the Boy Scouts. Those funds will go entirely to fund programs for scouts, male and female, in the Chop Tank District, which is Talbot County and the adjacent counties in our area. Responsible for raising the funds and organizing this event tonight are the following: Howard Friedlander, right here, who is our chairman and fundraiser in chief. And I can tell you from personal experience that if you see Mr. Friedlander's name in your caller ID, hang on to your wallet. Jim Harris, Billy Boyd, Charlie Caputi, Tom Hill, Bill Lane, Graham Lee, Al Smith, and Stacy Leffingwell. Thanks to all of those fine people. I would also call your attention in the program to the listing of the many sponsors of this event, and I would ask you to thank them when you see them here and hereafter, and tell them how much it means to you that they have supported this organization. Robert Nakagawa is the Scout Executive for the Delmarva County and Council, and will speak to us next. Robert has a very interesting history. He began his professional scout career in the Hawaiian Islands and had responsibility for not only those islands, but a whole series of other islands in the Pacific. He then went to Denver for several years, and he came to this jurisdiction in January of 2020, and he has some comments at this time. Robert?
Aloha, Rabbi Hyman. Congratulations on your award. So well deserved. I really wish I could have been there this afternoon to celebrate with you and everyone else on the accomplishments that you've done for the organization Boy Scouts of America. Not just what we're recognizing you here for the Midshore Distinguished Citizen Award that you're receiving, but also the fact of all the work that you've done to support worldwide scouting. The impact that you've made is immeasurable, and we know that we're in the business of changing lives, both in scouting and what you do on a daily basis as a rabbi. And I can't thank you enough for allowing us, the Delmarva Council, to recognize you as our distinguished citizen and allowing us to raise some funds that can help us deliver the program to more kids. Thank you so much for all that you do, and I look forward to the things that we're going to do together moving into the future. Mahalo nui loa. God bless you. Thank you very much, Rabbi.
So we turn to the main event, which is to recognize the rabbi for his contributions, not only to this community, but to the international scouting movement. And there are a great many reasons for our recognizing Rabbi Hyman this evening as the Midshore Distinguished Citizen for 2021. They're spelled out in some detail in the biographical material contained in tonight's program. I'd like to expand upon just one of them, however, which I think is fundamental to Rabbi Hyman's character and particularly significant in today's environment. And that is his commitment to diversity and inclusion, to getting us all together in the same tent, causing us to get along and respect each other. The rabbi made this commitment abundantly clear at the dedication of this temple several years ago. He indicated that the facility had been designed to welcome the community into its midst, that the windows were deliberately placed to allow the congregants to look out and for the community to look in, and that the temple was to be not only a center for Jewish life, but a center for community life. He dramatized this by including in the dedication ceremony people from all walks of life, a representative of the Muslim community, the head of the NAACP, Asians, Hispanics, a Catholic priest, and politicians of all stripes. It was a wonderful celebration of diversity. The rabbi's commitment to diversity is not new. It is something of a historic origin. And if he would tell you, it is because in his young days, his father had him working in his jewelry store. And his father told the young Peter that in order to make the business work, he had to respect all of the people that came into that jewelry store, irrespective of their race, religion, or national origin. And today, this community is the beneficiary of that wise advice. Consistent with the rabbi's commitment, this temple has served as the venue for the NAACP Martin Luther King Breakfast, Christian revivals, and events sponsored by the Aspen Institute, the Talbot Cinema Society, the Talbot County Garden Club, and the Easton Community Development Corporation. In addition, Peter has served very actively for several years on the board of directors of the YMCA of the Chesapeake, helping that entity serve its very diverse community in 11 branches up and down the Eastern Shore. And the rabbi, as indicated by Mr. Satell, did a remarkable trip to Saudi Arabia. He got into the country, he got back safely, and he made some friends there that he still has contact with, which is truly remarkable, as you have stated. And finally, at the recent World Jamboree in West Virginia several years ago, the rabbi was charged with overseeing the religious activities of not just the Jewish participants, but participants of all the world's faiths. In a time when our country and our community are highly polarized and getting along is not always an easy thing to do, Rabbi Hyman's commitment to diversity and inclusion is a breath of fresh air. And it is among the many reasons that we recognize him this evening. And I would suggest to all of us that the world would be a much better place with more Rabbi Hymans in it. Rabbi Hyman, we are going to award this virtually, correct?
We will, but we need to call up the senators and delegates first.
The senators and delegates first. Okay, I will do that. My apologies to the political establishment. I will now recognize State Senator Addie Eckert, and at the same time, State Delegate Johnny Mouts and State Delegate Chris Adams to come down for special presentations. And my apologies for going out of order.
He is absolutely fine, and God bless you. And thank you all very much, Rabbi Hyman. It's an honor to be here. To all of the members here at B'nai Temple, to all the distinguished guests and all the friends and supporters and community members who come. I thought it was just very fitting that what you all witness here, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. And how appropriate it was to our servant leader to be serving while he was being honored at the same time. And isn't that what it is all about? As he has worked so diligently in his commitment to scouting, but commitment to the community. It's so awesome, and I'm honored to be here because you truly are a servant leader, and you certainly have exemplified what it takes to bring people together, to listen, to not judge, and to win the right to be heard before you move forward. And that is such a strong message that we need to bring to our young people today. And we need that modeling, because it is the gentle giants and those strong leaders with grace that make a difference in our community. So I'm honored to be here today along with my colleagues. And first of all, I'll bring you the top one first, from the governor of the state of Maryland to Rabbi Peter Hyman. 2021 Midshore Distinguished Citizen, Boy Scouts of America, the Delmarva Council. Greetings, be it known that because of your great demonstration of high integrity and ability, meriting our great trust and respect, we are most pleased to award you the governor's citation in appreciation of your outstanding services to the citizens of this state. And it's given under the governor's hand and the great seal of the state of Maryland on this 23rd day of September 2021, signed by the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the secretary of state. God bless you. And on behalf of the governor, I'm proud to present it to you, my friend. I guess when I was first invited, I'm a Girl Scout, first of all, no disclosure, a true disclosure. And I grew up in a very Jewish community. My best friend was Jewish growing up. So I am well schooled in a lot of the Jewish tradition. And so it was really appropriate to come for the Festival of Lights. And then also to find out that this gentleman was a scout, which was awesome because he truly does exemplify everything that you will talk about with the Scout Oath and high ideals for our young people. So from the Maryland General Assembly, from the Senate of Maryland, I am pleased to present to you this official citation as you are honored as the 2021 Midshore Distinguished Citizen, but you also got that international award, and not everybody gets that. That is extremely special. So you are exactly right. That is the highest honor anybody can get, but congratulations for your outstanding service and dedicated to our community, district, and state. And it's presented on this 23rd day of September by myself. So
Thank you very
anyway,
much.
this is for you as well. And then I get to say, here are my colleagues. Here is Johnny and Chris.
I'm cutting in front of Delegate Adams because he's going to present the citation. My name is Johnny Mouse. Rabbi Hyman, it's an honor for me to be here. I grew up in Talbot County, so I cannot say I grew up in a very Jewish-filled community. It's the opposite. And it's amazing what you've done here in the community, but with the temple. But even more so, your involvement in the community in so many different ways. Boy Scouts this is just symbolic of all the things you've done, and for me to be able to sign the citation that's going to go to you on behalf of the House of Delegates, it's a real honor for me, and I'm proud to stand here with you, and I'm delighted for you. So with no further ado, presentation for Delegate Adams.
Okay, and good evening, friends, and congratulations, Rabbi Peter Hyman. It is an honor to stand here today, listen to the accomplishments that you've brought to the community and to the world at large, and it means so much to me to hear that background. You know, Delegate Mounts, Senator Ecker, and I, when invited to a Boy Scout ceremony, we're there. It is so important in this day and age that our young children, and as Boy Scouts are progressing through time, young ladies as well, are learning all the very important skills that it takes to live in America today. Service above self, to God and to country, that we live here in our wonderful country of America. And so when we show up at Boy Scout ceremonies and do the Eagle Scout honors, we give citations to each of these honorees. And these signatures that Johnny and Addie and I put on the citations are a reflection of the district at large. We speak for everyone in our District 37 and the state of Maryland in thanking each of those children for what they've done, because now more than ever, we need that sort of leadership. And as an ambassador to the Boy Scouts that you are, we are signing, in addition to the work that you've done to help us better our part of the world. And I want to thank you for that. Thank you. My privilege. I want to just take a minute and I'll read the citation. These are Johnny's words and Chris's voice. He's the resident delegate, so thank you, Johnny. From the Maryland General Assembly, this official citation, be it hereby known to all that sincerest congratulations are offered to Rabbi Peter Hyman in recognition of being named the 2021 Midshore Distinguished Citizen by the Delmarva Council of the Boy Scouts of America. Thank you for your leadership and contribution to the heritage of the Eastern Shore and its future, presented on this 23rd day of September 2021 by your good friends, Delegate Chris Adams and Delegate Johnny Mounts. Congratulations. Thank you for everything.
We also, I believe, have a representative from Senator Cardin's office who may have a comment.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Cradaville, and I'm here representing Senator Ben Cardin. But if I may, as a point of personal privilege, since I started with the senator in 2013, I will say this Episcopal girl has always found a home at the temple with Rabbi Hyman, and it's much appreciated. He welcomes my family, and we always feel welcome here, as presented by my daughter being with me tonight. So, and as Mr. Satell said, I wrote it down, respectful and meaningful leadership is what the rabbi represents. And certainly, I think all of us could use respectful and meaningful leadership. So on that note, thank you. I do represent Senator Cardin, and that is why I'm here tonight. And he has a letter for you that I'd like to read quickly. Dear Peter, congratulations on being chosen to receive the 2021 Midshore Distinguished Citizens Award from the Boy Scouts of America Delmarva Council. The Boy Scouts of America was established to prepare youth for life by exemplifying character development and value-based leadership. You have been a model in these efforts in your work with your community. As Rabbi of Temple B'nai Israel, you provide a refuge where members can worship freely and seek spiritual growth and healing. Your passion for teaching, coupled with your sustaining love, acts as a guiding light for the lives of your congregants. As a spiritual leader, you have shepherded the next generation of young spiritual seekers. We are fortunate to have your leadership and guidance in our community. I join the members of the temple and your family and friends in celebrating this great honor. Best wishes to you and as you receive this well-deserved award. Sincerely, Ben Cardin. Thank you. And we have a citation.
The next call to the podium, Mr. Pat Press, who is the president of the board of the Delmarva Council, who will present the Distinguished Citizen Award.
Rabbi Hyman, your contributions in the community are immeasurable, and we will benefit from them for many years to come. This award, as so many have said tonight, is so incredibly well deserved. It is my honor, on behalf of all those who are watching this evening, on behalf of the thousands of scouts in the Delmarva Council, and on behalf of the hundreds of volunteers in the Delmarva Council as well, to present the 2021 Distinguished Citizen Award to you, Rabbi Peter Hyman.
It is now my privilege to introduce Mr. Scott Tier, who is the past Secretary General of the World Scouting Organization, who will present the rabbi with the Bronze Wolf Award. Mr. Tier.
Good evening. I'm from Texas. That's the heart of the Bible Belt. And ladies and gentlemen, you don't invite somebody from the Bible Belt and tell them they only have 3 minutes to make a presentation. It takes me 3 minutes just to get warmed up. But I am honored to be here tonight to represent the World Scout Committee, to present Rabbi Hyman with the Bronze Wolf Award. The Bronze Wolf Award is the only award presented by the World Scout Committee for outstanding service by an individual to the World Scout movement. The award was established in 1935. And the first person to be awarded the Bronze Wolf was then Chief Scout of the World, Lord Robert Baden-Powell, the founder of Scouting. Since that time, since 1935, only 376 people have been presented the Bronze Wolf Award, and your Rabbi Peter Hyman is number 377. I have I may not be Baptist, but I'm just getting warmed up. And to that we say amen. I have personally known and worked alongside Peter Hyman since our first encounter at the 18th World Scout Jamboree in 1995, which was held in the Netherlands. But it was actually the World Scout Jamboree that was held in Thailand in 2012, December 2012, January 2013, that I remember the most amazing event surrounding the rabbi. Picture, if you will, a beautiful sand beach owned by the Thai Navy on a beautiful, beautiful view of the ocean. And it's 105 degrees, and we're setting up the headquarters for the Boy Scouts of America at that Jamboree event. The sun's blaring down on us. It is hot. I have been sweating for the last 5 hours, and this happy-go-lucky rabbi walks up and smiles and says, "You need anything?" I said, "Yeah, if you're any kind of rabbi at all, I would have you bring me a dark cloud and the cool breeze." And I swear to you, this is true. 3 minutes later, the ugliest black cloud you've ever seen in your life formed over the ocean and blew into the shore, blocked out the sun, and the temperature dropped about 20 degrees. Now, Rabbi Hyman's got this silly grin on his face. You know that grin. He looks at me and he says, "Anything else?" I said, "You, sir, are chaplain for life." I complained a little while ago, 2:30 this afternoon on the phone about all the rain we had here. Need I say more? But you know, it was that World Scout Jamboree in 1995 that really defined Peter Hyman's attitude about World Scouting. And if you've never attended the World Scout Jamboree, it's a collection of scouts from every country that you could possibly imagine. And they're all there and they wear their different uniforms, grays and blues and reds and yellows and whites and lots of khaki. And they have an opening show and they have a closing show. And Peter Hyman penned a story about his observation at that World Scout Jamboree. I'm not going to read the whole story to you, but I am going to read the last part of it. Because the kids during the Jamboree trade uniforms. They don't have, at the end of the Jamboree, they're not wearing their own uniform. They're wearing some other country uniform. But at the opening show, they march in by countries. And Peter says, you look out into the arena and you see all these scouts sitting by countries, and it looks like grandma's quilt. When at the end of the Jamboree, they've traded uniforms. They're still sitting on the arena floor in their groups of countries. There's no longer grandma's quilt. It's a sea of confetti. So he said, for those of you who have never been to attend the World Scout Jamboree, it's difficult to describe what happens during those 10 days. By the time of the closing, a mystical change occurs. Still, countries still occupy their assigned spots on the designated locations, but now there's a difference. As I said, the patchwork of block of colors is no longer seen as squares of red, of navy, of green, of tan, of white, and they give way and disappear to a sea of confetti. The boundaries are blurred. These are his words. Standing are scouts, just scouts. Not American scouts or Canadian scouts, not Israeli scouts or Jordanian scouts. No longer is it possible to tell who is who. Just scouts. Some smiling, some crying. Most are sad that the end of the Jamboree has come. All are uplifted by the week just experienced and all have been touched and changed by the power and the promise of those 10 days. But all just scouts. And perhaps here lies the secret and mystery, the hope and the challenge of a World Scout Jamboree. For a moment, the world is truly united. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was what Peter Hyman observed at the 1995 World Scout Jamboree, a world truly united. And Peter began his personal crusade to spread that scout spirit throughout the world. You heard Ed talk about his visit to Saudi Arabia in September of 2012. A Jewish rabbi personally invited by the late King Abdullah to be in Saudi Arabia. You know, I've traveled a great many miles on behalf of scouting, and wherever I go, I wear my scout lapel pin. It's on the left side. And people will say to me, I was a scout. And sometimes they raise their right hand to the scout sign and they recite that scout promise, which, by the way, is duty to God, duty to country, duty to others, and duty to self, in that order, for very good reasons. And then they'll also tell me the scout law, the 12 points of the scout law. No matter how old they are, they remember all that. It's a well-recognized emblem around the world. But I'm here to tell you, hands down, the most recognized emblem around the world is the flag of the United States of America. And perhaps, just perhaps, the second most recognized emblem is the Scout Fleur-de-Lis. Ladies and gentlemen, Rabbi Peter Hyman has dedicated a lifetime of wearing a Scout uniform that displays both those emblems. Distinguished citizen Rabbi Peter Hyman, it is my pleasure to present to you World Scouting's Bronze Wolf Award, number 377.
They want to keep you hold on.
Podium is yours to speak with.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what to say, and those of you who know me, I'm really speechless. Thank you. Thank you to the Delmarva Council. Thank you to my dear friend Scott Tier, who is the immediate retired Secretary General of the World Scout Movement. I want to also recognize my colleague, Reverend Greg Powell. Where's Greg sitting? And his wife, Lisa. There they are. Greg, Scott referenced the tragedy, the Jamboree. Greg was part of the chaplaincy team that I was so fortunate to work with a number of really talented colleagues. We've worked together, and thank you, Greg and Lisa, for being here. I want to acknowledge AJ Kramer, who is the past chairman of the National Jewish Committee on Scouting. I'm deeply appreciative of AJ's being here. Scott, of course, coming up from Texas. My father was a scoutmaster. There was no choice. I got my eagle. My mother was supportive. I don't think she had a choice either. One of the greatest moments in my father's life was when he pinned the eagle medals on the chests of his two grandsons, my two sons. Baden-Powell said, it's not about how fast it can build, it can pitch a tent, or how quickly you can build a fire ring and create a fire. He said, scouting exists, and this is a direct quote, to help bring sanity to an insane world. That's my motivation as an adult scouter. I cherish the fact that I still get calls from friends in Saudi Arabia. I delight in the joy of having been invited to Kuala Lumpur to speak. I love the fact that when I walk into the Tidewater and I see Walter Thomas, that I know he and I share a number of things, including the fact that we're Eagle Scouts, and your presence here honors me. What can we do to make real the vision of bringing sanity to an insane world? This young man is an Eagle Scout. He attended the United States Merchant Marine Academy. He took the skills that he learned in scouting and applied them to his education. My job has always been to try to bring a sense of unity to our community. I am honored by this. The Satells, Ed, for many years, I've been fortunate to be inspired by you and learn from you. Greg, our work, AJ, our work has been valuable, and I would say on some levels very successful. We have an obligation to leave the world a better place than we found it. I am hugely honored that my friend Richard Potter, president of the NAACP, is here tonight. My brother from other mothers, Harriet Lowry, Charlene Brooks, all of you. You make this community amazingly special. I know the mayor was here. I don't know if he's still here. There he is. Mr. Mayor, thank you. Addie, thank you. My job has always been to try to bring people together. Not always successful. Sometimes, human beings make mistakes. But by and large, it has been an honor. I am deeply, deeply humbled and privileged to accept this. Scott, to join the club that you are a part of, the Bronze Wolf Club. Scott is also a Bronze Wolf. Brought tears to my eyes when I was first told about it. Thank you all for this opportunity. Thank you for being here. To the council, to WASM, to my friends. We will continue to create success in building community. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. On behalf of the nearly 6,000 boys and girls who benefit from the programs of the Delmarva Council of the Scouts, I thank you for your attendance and for your generosity, and I wish you a good evening.